come along to what I've always considered to be my home beach ever since I started skimboarding 15 years ago. On this trip to the beach, I'm going to be telling you a story and giving you info about sharks. Yes, those toothy, fishy creatures that most people are ever so scared of. Now, in most cases, there's no real legitimate reason to actually fear sharks. Most of the fear is just a byproduct of pop fiction and media. But the beach that we're going to be going to in this video is, yes, it's my home beach, and it just so happens to also be the shark bite capital of the world. So there is some legitimate reason for fear. However, there is also what we're going to be talking about, which is a reason to punch fear in the face, and in this dangerous world, to just chase your passions. So let's get into it, why don't we? New Smyrna Beach in Volusia County, Florida, has been dubbed the shark bite capital of the world. And in southern New Smyrna, there is a beach called Bethune Beach, and then just south of that is Canaveral National Seashore, where we'll be headed to in this video. And though you may be wondering why we would be headed to a beach such as this, ironically, you've been watching us drive on one of the most dangerous roads in the country. And therein lies a large part of my reasoning, which we will be getting into later in this video. So we have about an hour and a half drive from our home to the beach, basically to any beach that we choose of the three that I like going to. We can either go to Ormond, New Smyrna, or Melbourne. All three of those are an hour and a half from our house. And then we have to add about 45 minutes total of charging time because we drive an electric car. So it takes, right now we're gonna be here for about 30 minutes charging, and then on the way home we're gonna charge for 15 to 20 minutes. But yeah, it's cool being in a convenient location. We could get to any of the three beaches depending on what's set up nicely as far as shore, as far as slope on the shore. And then Sebastian Inlet and Volano are both about 2 hours from our house. And those are the really beast spots when it's really going off. They are the prime skim conditions or surf conditions. But today we're going to New Smyrna. We're going to go to South New Smyrna. So we're going to go into Bethune, Turtle Mound area. Turtle Mound is the name of Canaveral National Seashore's New Smyrna Park. So we're going to possibly go into there, or we'll go to Bethune today. But yeah, the conditions are pretty good. It's clean. It's light wind, offshore. Medium size, small, medium swell, but it should be good for skim. The beaches have been set up really nice there, so hopefully we'll get some good waves. Of all of the world's unprovoked shark attacks since the mid-19th century, 24% of those have been in Florida, with about a third of those being in Volusia County, where New Smyrna Beach is. And if you've gone swimming in New Smyrna's waters, you have almost guaranteed to have been within 10 feet of a shark. And though that may seem terrifying given the mass perception of sharks that we have in our society, mostly thanks to movies and media, only one of those shark bites has been fatal. Whereas on the very stretch of road that we took to get here, nearly 100 people die in car accidents every single year just going place to place. Stopping to get some wax so I don't slippy slide off my board. Here at Red Dog Surf Shop. Red Dog in New Smyrna Beach. I ended up getting sticky bumps, super sticky. They're stickiest wax ever. That should keep me glued to my board. So as I was saying before that stop for wax, though I don't want to get bitten by a shark by any means, the numbers relatively just are not that scary. Take note of that American flag as we pause in the shark story for just a minute to talk about wave forecasting, where that flag in my early days of heading to the beach played a pivotal role in letting me know what I would see when I pulled up to the ocean. So when I first started skimboarding, me and my friends had no idea that you could just get on the computer and see what the forecast was like and what the waves would be like when you got to the beach. So we wasted too much money and too much time on too many occasions driving with no idea what it was going to be like, only to be stumped by impossible to ride conditions. Seeing that flag was often all we knew about the day's forecast. But now back to the shark story after this quick break. So we're here at Turtle Mound and we're actually headed to the final beach access, number 5, because there's no parking at 1 through 4, and 5 is actually a nude beach. So we're gonna be at the nude beach. We obviously won't get any footage because we're not gonna creep around with our camera videoing naked people, but you can imagine it's naked people on a beach. We're here at Turtle Mound. We didn't end up going to the nude beach. It was packed also. So we came and waited for a spot at one of the other accesses. Finally got a spot, and now we're gonna head out, get some waves on the old board, soak up some sunshine, and enjoy Florida. So getting back to our shark story, I have definitely been one throughout my history going to this beach and beaches in general. I've definitely been one to err on the side of caution to the point where I actually spent 5 or a little more than 5 years completely not getting in the ocean. I stopped surfing. I mostly stopped skimboarding except for on a couple occasions. And the reason was because I was deathly afraid of sharks. So I'm not saying that it's an unrealistic fear. I'm just saying that the stats don't really add up to the fear that I think most people do have when it comes to those actually very beneficial and magnificent creatures of the sea. 6 skim, lots of fishermen, but we'll go that way. Past the fishing people. Yeah, it's all good for skim too, but there's fishermen everywhere. Maybe that way, past them. Let me see if it's good there. Let's get up down there too. We're out here. We walked from that boardwalk all the way down here to avoid all the fisher people. But the waves look sick. I'm gonna get on it. Now you may be wondering if I have ever actually seen a shark here, and to that I say, most definitely. I've actually bumped into sharks while surfing, and they would flop around and swim around and figure out what just happened. I have dove under waves where sharks are sharing the wave with me and I can see them in the face of the wave. I've seen fins. And I've seen sharks washed up on shore or caught by fishermen standing on shore. But as we've said earlier in this video, there's not really a serious risk, at least for major bites. And most of the sharks are pretty small. Now, would I want to get bitten? Absolutely not. It would hurt, and I am still cautious and fearful. But 800 or so bites is the numbers that we're talking for the shark bite capital of the world. So it's really not too substantial.
It's a hand sandcastle, okay?
What castle?
A hand castle, okay?
Hand castle?
Yes.
What does that mean?
It means a sandcastle made out of hands.
Ah.
That's my hand castle.
What are you, Nasa?
I'm an excavator.
Your excavator?
Yes.
Can you look here?
So that's all I have for you on sharks in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. We might talk about it more in a later video, but for now, enjoy these waves. The conditions were actually super good, which was really nice after a month long in India where I wasn't able to hit the beach. So coming back to conditions like this just had me feeling like I was on top of the world. I still need to get back in better shape in order to really capitalize on my skim sessions, but I was happy with my performance and just stoked to be out there.
That's how her neighbors on this beach on this side, and on the other side is nobody.
So right now, what I'm looking for, it's actually good wraps. So like where you hit the wave and come all the way around and then come down the wave this way. But it's also some of the waves peak up and then go this way. So I'm looking right now to catch the edge of one of those and ride it down this way and get a little barrel. If one presents itself. If it doesn't, I'll just keep wrapping. That's a wrap. Not a full like down the line after I wrapped, but it's hard to find one of those in Florida. It's not that big, and in between the waves isn't that far. So in Florida, it's kind of quick waves. And it breaks, you catch it, you ride it, you do your thing like in a smaller amount of space. It's like very technical. But I'm still looking for one of those lines that way. That was like a half wrap. Here, you're going to get to witness me ruin a really nice wrappable wave in favor of trying to force what I was just talking about wanting to do. And that funky looking wave you just witnessed is why we don't force things, folks. That right there is a sea turtle nest. So there's a bunch of baby eggs in there, and they're feeling the vibrations and the sounds of the waves coming in, and they actually learn how the ocean works from the vibrations. And then when they hatch in the nighttime, when they're ready, they all hatch close to at once, and they start walking down the ocean. The reason they learn how the ocean works is so they can get out past the waves and survive. A lot of them don't survive. But yeah, so you're supposed to not touch that. Obviously, it's a baby's nest, but that's what that is. There's a lot of them actually. They're marked by the yellow posts, and then also sometimes the crates. I'm not exactly sure why the crates, but yeah. I had always wondered why Turtle Mound was in fact called Turtle Mound. And I had theories that maybe it was these turtles that roam the place. We saw 7 on our drive out from after we were at the beach. Or maybe it was the sea turtles that nest on the shores. But alas, during my research for this video, I learned that it is named Turtle Mound because it is a giant prehistoric landfill shaped like a turtle. More in the description below. This spot right here, I see here all the time in high school and after high school when we used to come to this area to skimboard. You see here all the time, and from what I remember, it's really good and cheap, decent service. So we're gonna check that out now that I'm a foodie who makes grown-up money and who's worked in a lot of restaurants. So we're gonna vet that. We'll see. Anila's never eaten here, so I'm excited to take her, show her the way of Mi Mexico. I took notes during our time at Mi Mexico, and I'm going to be doing a more formal style review, starting with the Ambiance, which was relaxed but nice. The restaurant was extremely clean, and the time it took to be greeted from the time we were sat at our table was perfectly timely. The restaurant was nearly full, even though we were eating mid-afternoon, but that didn't stop the service from being impeccable. There were enough workers to satisfy the needs of everyone that was eating there, and the amount of workers really, truly makes a difference in a restaurant. Understaffed restaurants do not function well, simply put. From the chips and salsa all the way to our main courses, the food was as good as I remember. Perfectly tasty, which was a surprise given how fast the dishes were cooked, but they came out with steaming hot plates. So apparently they don't spend too much time waiting there for someone to bring them out. Pretty much everything could be made vegetarian, and they even had a special vegetarian section on the menu. Flavor was good, quality was good, and prices were a bit above average but reasonable. Me Mexico is everything I remembered and more. But for now, we're gonna go get some ice cream. Yum! We're going to Frozen Gold, somewhere I've been going to since I was a kid coming to New Smyrna.
Is that frozen gold?
I think we're gonna pull in this way.
It's not golden at all. Oh, that is frozen gold. Yummy.
Let's do one strawberry cheesecake, one
Good?
one
Yummy.
and a bowl or a cup.
What's it called?
Superman.
Superman.
Okay.
What did you say?
They got me a pink spoon. It's like they know me because my favorite color is pink, teal, and blue. Okay?
And I got a cherry gelati, my favorite. Check out this ambiance back here. They got music playing, a speaker. They got these chairs. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button and head over to our channel to check out some of our other videos. And take it easy like a baby riding home from the beach.